Welcome to Rubber Duck Off-Road Garage. My name is Grant, and in today's video I'm going to be installing Fox shocks from a Rubicon onto my 2021 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel. Now the Rubicon and the Mojave I think are the only two versions or trim levels of the Jeep that come with Fox shocks. All the other ones just come with your standard typical shocks, just like any other vehicle. I didn't buy a Rubicon, I bought a Sport, not for just money reasons, but for what I do. I prefer to do my own gearing and stuff like that because I might not want 410s, I might want 538s. But considering I bought a diesel and I'm running a 35, I'm not going to have to change gears anyway because it doesn't care. I've calibrated my speedometer, and I even had 37s on it at one point and recalibrated my speedometer, and even with the 37s and the 373s, it didn't care. It's still plenty of low end torque and it just did what I wanted it to do. So I'm not too worried about it. And if I do change transfer cases, I think I'd do an Atlas 4-speed transfer case later on down the road. But that's way down the road because I only plan on using this for overlanding, and then using my other Jeep that I'm working on, the JKCJ build that I'm doing, that's going to be my wheeler. So that's got, you know, an aftermarket 44 in the front. It's got a 5.7 Hemi in it. That's going to be the Jeep that'll have the more crazy stuff. I don't really need all that in my Gladiator because it's a daily driver and it's going to be more of an overland to just do camping and stuff like that when we go out on family trips. So I'm going to put the Fox shocks in it just because they're a better ride than the stock shocks that come in a Gladiator. So I will get to that and I will show you how it goes. So I'm going to do the front first. I've got it all jacked up on jack stands. I'm going to take the front wheels off and take the front shocks off first. It shouldn't be too bad. They look pretty easy to get out once I get the tires off. But I don't know, I haven't changed shocks on one of these yet. So I guess I'll find out what it's all about. Alright folks, so I got the passenger side done already. I've removed the shock on the driver's side. So if you look up here, there's this hole back here and then a hole up front here. That's where your shock goes, and then this long bolt here goes through there and it threads into the back hole. The plastic here, your inner fender well, splash guard, whatever you want to call it, you can just pull it back to get up in there to get that bolt out, and then it'll fall back into place when you're done. So the Fox shocks, this is your top, this is your bottom for the front. This hole here you want pointed towards the axle because it looks like it's cut out to fit around this here. Other than that, it's not terribly hard. You'll need an 18mm socket and an 18mm wrench for the bottom, and the top is an 18mm as well. You only need the socket for that. I'm using an air ratchet, and I'm also using a regular ratchet as well. And then to compress the shocks, I'm using just a big screwdriver because that's always the fun part. So the front is looking pretty simple. When I'm done here, I'll get her turned around and I'll let you know how the back goes. Alright, so there's the front shocks. Both are in. So I'm going to put the tires back on now, and then I'll flip the Jeep around and I'll get started on the back. Alright, so for the rear, you're going to need a 21mm socket and a 21mm wrench. I'm using my impact to pull the bolts out, put them in. The front of the shock mounts up here. Of course, you know where the back of the shock normally mounts, on the axle. Here's the rear Fox shock. This is your front and your back. I'm putting the hole in the bottom that way in case anything tries to interfere with it. And that way it matches the front. Other than that, I got the other side done already. It's pretty simple. Changing the shocks on this is easier than a lot of other cars that I've changed shocks on, which is nice. I'll get this one in, I'll get the tires back on, and we'll see how it looks when it's on the ground. So there you have it. It's back on the ground. All the Fox shocks are installed all the way around. And so far, not too bad. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna drive it later, see how it feels, but I mean, the ride shouldn't change drastically because the coil springs for this are a little bit stiffer in the front because it's got the diesel engine. So I'm hoping that the Fox shocks will help improve that, if anything, because the extra weight for the diesel engine. I'm just hoping it smooths the ride out a little bit, but we'll find out. So that's going to be it for today. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. There's more coming with the bed rack, the CJJK project. Lots of stuff going on. I got the Cherokee Chief out there, so there's always something going on here. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.